So is the impulse to save others something we should cultivate or something we should just...
You don't have to cultivate that impulse. The survival impulse is there, it's built in. Right. We just need to be aware of what other impulses we have that we can use to save ourselves from a whole bunch of anguish, agony, and let's say searching. I have to go deeper into what the saving process is. So, you have to save yourself. Right? You have to save your resources. You have to save your reality. Yeah. And that's what spiritual practice enables certain people to do. They start to realize more than just the material need, say, for survival, but maybe the spiritual need for survival.
Does spiritual practice lead to taking greater care of oneself and others?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so the heart expands. You do what the heart does. You go where the heart goes. See? Mm-hmm. And caring becomes a way of life. Caring up to a point, because you're not responsible for everybody, and you're not responsible for caring for everybody in a manner of speaking, or complicating your life because you care too much for other people more than what you really need to be caring for your balance. So you have to be careful, right? You have to be careful of what you care for. Right? And make sure you know what the results are of what it is you're creating in the process. Right? And then let that be your guide to better or worse, depending on where you go.
So does an appreciation for life lead to more caution and more care?
It can, right, it can. An appreciation for what you have to do, what you really know you have to do, can result in more care for everything. So, in some cases, you need to be the best that you can be in whatever your field is in order for you to feel okay enough to care. So an automobile mechanic can have a great day because he did a great job and got a good payment for it, and really affect the world in a positive manner. He did his bit. It's not just about the pure spiritual, the abstract spiritual. It's really about knowing what you have to do and doing the best you can be, and knowing that you've done your best. That can help you have a better day and a better life. See, right where you are, at your level, at your stage. See.
So would you say that involves an understanding of and appreciation for one's limitations? So
not so much limitations, but what one's potential is. So it's really more about potential than limitation. It's more about the potential. What I can do, let's say, for a phrase, what I can do. I can save somebody. I can do better. I can go deeper. It's positive potential. I can play better. I can be a better person. More. See? So it's positive more, not just greed, but relative to the potential and serving.
does one invite more by way of affirmation of their potential?
Could be. You have to see if that works for you. You might not know that negative, let's say, thinking is good for you or not. You might not know that. So you need to know what negative thinking creates for you, and then you modify it from there and see the results. Positive thinking. Unless you just have positive thinking, everything is going your way anyway, then you don't need to change anything. It's working for you.
And is that the measure, that we see something is working for us?
That's the best measure. If it's not working for you, what do? Try to make it work for yourself. That's common sense. Right? And this is as true for pioneers in any and every field. See? Make it work. And if it breaks down, fix it, make it work. See? And of course, there may be limits to that, and many experiments have to be chucked because of exhausting whatever is being used to make it work. There can be limits to that, of course, and they might have to make it work differently, or create a whole new vehicle, say, or apparatus for themselves. So you need to know what you're creating and determine from that whether or not you should pursue it, see, or advance it in some way, deepen it, broaden it, see, expand it, see, or chuck it. Find something else to do with yourself.
And what about trying to maintain one's focus when other people are putting other conditions on you, wanting you to make other choices?
What's wrong with making other choices? You have to see what the results are. You have to know what a good choice is. You better know what a good choice is. Yeah, just know what a good choice is. Right? Know for yourself what the right thing is to do. Exactly. Don't make a bad choice. Right? Because you're going to know it's a bad choice. Of people, of things, of deals, and so on. Right? Buyings, right? Sales. Make good choices.
And that would involve, let's say, not making other people's problems our own.
Common sense. Unless, for some reason, you know that making a person's karma your problem is really going to be fruitful for you. See, depends on how you see it, how you scheme it. So, well, I think calculate. I think helping this person is a good idea. I see this is lucrative. That's up to you. Depends on what your game is. What your gain is, see, from doing anything.
So going back then to saving the dog, my life wasn't at stake in doing so, but
It may have been. We don't know that for sure. As I say, something like that could be a test for you or anyone. And so you always feel better afterwards if you feel you did what your heart moved you to do, which was to let it go or let it pass or bring it back, see? Give it its life back. All right.
or in some conditions to say that there's too much risk, so I have to let this go.
Could be, yes, that's up to you. You have to judge that. Make sure you're doing the right thing for you.
In other words, one doesn't necessarily want to die in a futile attempt to help another.
Unless that's where you have to die, in a futile attempt. Some people die in futile attempts,
True.
Across the Atlantic. By rowboat.
So, does one look for ways to do good, or just allow them to come?
If you're into doing good, you know what you have to do. You don't have to be thinking about it. You don't have to sit on the bench, figure out what's good to do. You just do it. So, this is for people who are doing things, knowing what they're doing, and not thinking about whether they should do it or not, particularly. Right? That's psychology 101. Go see the head shrink. Talk to the head shrink about it. Maybe the head shrink can help you make up your mind. No, this is much more, in terms of spiritual practice, this is straight up, straight ahead, direct, knowing what you have to do, and going for it.
And so, what steps does one take to cultivate knowing what they need to do?
Well, the step is to know what you need to do. So know that you need to do something. Let's assume you know what that is already. I would hope so. You know what you got to do and you do it. That's it. You go for it. You just got back from Cambodia. Anything, any number of complications could have come up to throw you off course, but they didn't. So you realized there and then that you had a course of action, you followed it through, and you got back safely. And anything could have gone bad along the way there, for you or anybody else. See? But you decided to just keep going, walking from wherever you were, I suppose, riding wherever you had to ride, here or there. And you didn't feel all too fearful. You weren't asking everybody, hey, do I do this or do I don't do it? Should I do this or should I do it? What do you think? Should we toss the coin, go over there, have a shot of whatever it is you drink and see what's happening? Talk to the bartender, see if there's a psychic in the neighborhood, throw the dice. Yeah, just do what you got to do. It's beautiful. All right. You learn that way. It's actually the best way to do it. Okay.